Hey guys, welcome to the Creative Soul Searching Experience. This is your soul self lesson in the Four Selves lesson. And today we're going to talk about our soul self, and you'll understand what this is all about if you stick with the whole thing. I'm so glad you're here. I love you. Mwah. Hi guys. This feels like old times. When I used to make all those soul school videos in the art barn and everything. I'm in another barn, a real live barn that's pretty old and has an amazing history that will soon be an awesome creative space. I don't know how soon, but someday, that's the plan. Anyway, thank you for being here. This is the fourth lesson in the Four Selves, and it's about your soul self. And so I've been very excited about this, and also a little bit overwhelmed because there's so much that I want to say and remind you of, teach you about, but it's really just reminding you because you already know all this. And so I'm going to share some stuff with you, but there's so much more to share too that I'll share later. Otherwise, we're going to be here for hours. But I made you guys some worksheets that I have been using daily, where I've been running everything through my four selves, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I want you guys to have some daily tools to use when you wake up in the morning, because that has changed my life so much. Just to be really working on my mindset every day, what thoughts I'm allowing myself to think. I don't know if you know this, but we have 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day, and a lot of them are just old tapes that are running through. A lot of them are out of our control, and if we don't design our thoughts and decide on the ones we're going to take as truth and program ourselves with, because our brains are kind of like a computer, then we'll just be held captive to the thoughts that just come through. And so that's something I'm super passionate about, and I'm going to be teaching you guys a lot more about that if you want to learn about it. I'm going to be making a lot of videos and even a big course about just designing your thoughts. Okay. All right. So our soul self. Yeah. I'm actually going to read from out of the Out From Under workbook, which is another class I need to release. So good for these times. And this workbook will be available on Amazon and stuff like that when I get it done. But this lesson actually, or this workbook actually contains the Four Selves in it. In fact, I think I'm probably going to preface just about every course I do in the future with this lesson, because when we're not seeing ourselves in the world from the proper filter, we can really get messed up. And that's what this is about. When we're seeing ourselves through the filter of the cardboard cutout self, the false wounded self, or better is the wise child self and the soul self, which we're going to talk about now. Okay, so I'm just going to read you just the first little part of this lesson, okay? Did I do this in the first lesson? I don't know. Maybe I did. But we're going to read it again, even if I did. I've taught so many, I've made so many thousands of videos that sometimes I can't remember what I've taught and what I haven't. But this is a good one to revisit again, like I said. Okay, so this says, who am I now? And that's what we've been talking about this whole time, right? We've been talking about seeing our four selves. And we're all of the selves, integrated. But if you partitioned it off into how you're perceiving yourself and how you're perceiving life and how you're perceiving the things that happen and your own part in those things, and also what you're capable of creating from yourself. All of those things matter, and that's why I feel so passionate about this, because these bossy false selves, they're kind of bossy, and they don't ask for permission to take up the space and take up all the oxygen in the room and take up all your thoughts. You have to, from your soul self and your human self, take the reins for your own life, and just kind of, you know, let them have their say, because it's really wounds. Those messages from your two false selves come from wounds and things that have actually happened to you, and beliefs that maybe have been placed on you, or that you ignorantly believed, you know, before you knew better. So we have to be patient with them, but we also have to be a wise steward of our own mind and our own heart and our own life. And so that's what this is about. Okay, so who am I now? What's holding you down and holding you back? Let's start with a fundamental truth, that being a human being is really hard. It's really messy, and it's really complicated. It's hard because we're actually souls in bodies, trying to figure out how to do this human thing. Every one of us is just trying to figure things out. This can make us very weary, especially when the world around us is in turmoil the way that it is. Here's what I want for you. Here's what I want for you. Here's what I want for myself, and I want for you. I want you to wake up every morning and every 15 minutes, because we fall asleep in our brains and we go on autopilot. I want you to keep waking up and stay awake and live as the exact soul that you are. I want you to stop yourself from feeling and behaving as if you have to hide behind or stay buried under something, especially a false self that you've created to keep yourself safe. I want you to have the tools, the motivation, and the courage to be awake to your life rather than numb to it. I want you to know for sure that you've got everything it takes to get out from under what's holding you down. And I want you to see the light of hope that will serve as fuel to do what it takes to get out from under, so that you'll be able to keep going to make it to that goal. I want you to remember that you are still learning and growing and becoming, and that it's okay that it feels messy and out of control sometimes. I want you to be excited about life, because life really is an amazing adventure. I want you to understand the mountains you've climbed and have yet to climb. Give yourself some credit. And remember how many strong soul muscles you have from climbing up so many mountains and doing so many things. Okay, so the goal here is for you to see your strength, to really see who you are, to really see who you are, to remember who you are, to claim who you are. The goal is also for you to see who you are not. That's one of the biggest parts of this four selves, is for you to recognize who you're not, and who you might have been tricked into, even if it was your own self-tricking, into believing that you are, okay? We will talk about that next. It's so important to see the truth of yourself so that you can also see what's holding you down and holding you back, but especially so that you can start behaving true to who you actually are, rather than who you may have thought you were. Life is so much easier when we walk in truth. The first step to tackling weariness is finding out where we are and who we are. So let's get started. Okay, sorry, I probably should have put the tripod up bigger, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna keep having the top of my hat cut off. Okay, you guys, here is the worksheet. If you printed out the whole PDF at the beginning, right here, this is the worksheet for your soul self. Okay, so I'm gonna start by saying this is not a religious discussion. I think sometimes when we say the word soul, people think of religion or whatever, and that puts a lot of people off. So you are if you want to, you know, there's scientific proof that you are consciousness and energy on the inside. In fact, they've done studies where I think after you die, your body weighs 22 grams less. That's how much your soul weighs, 22 grams. But there's just so much evidence. There's so much evidence. And if you ask yourself, you know that inside You're not your body. Your body's sort of like this glove that your soul just, puts itself inside of. And our bodies are such a sacred vehicle, and they're such a critical part of our human experience. But our bodies aren't who we are, and our brains aren't even who we are, and our hearts are, I feel like, are a lot more of who we are. But it's all this huge conglomeration of DNA and memories and energy and intention and emotion and just so many things. But your soul is perfect, and it's wise, and it's destroyable, because it's energy. You can't destroy energy. So let's just get that out of the way. This isn't me telling you some religious dogma. This is real. This is the real deal. And if you're still feeling weird about it, just stick around and just be open to the possibility that you might remember, that this might feel super true for you, because I know it's true. So your soul self. This is the basis of all of my work. I mean, I used to have what was called soul school, and I'm so much about remembering that we're souls in bodies. And it's the reason that I don't talk about politics or religion or sexuality or anything where people are putting everybody into these little, they think neat little groups, that are all so easily defined. I mean, even if you put a bunch of people that all have, purple hair in the same group, and those are called the purple hairs, whatever, they're not the same. And that's my problem with labels and putting people into groups, is they're not all the same. We can't just lump people into groups, including ourselves. Each one of those people that might look the same from the outside, or maybe even they have some of the same beliefs, they all have a different soul on the inside, and then they have a body, and really the body you get is so what I believe is so unimportant. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing that we get these incredible bodies full of technology, and bodies are so incredible, and they're such an important part of who we are, and we really need to be embodied. But I don't feel like bodies are something that should be separating us into categories, because I always feel like any problems we have in the world are problems of that don't have anything to do with what we think they have to do with. They're more like there's always broken people inside of every group, and there's always really good people inside of every group. So when we lump people together and we think it's the group, we really miss out. And so that's what my wish, man, is just that we could strip everything away and just be souls together. And that's what happens when you come to one of my events or one of my classes. That's what I ask you to do. No labels. We don't even talk about anything that could label you. When you come to one of my camps or one of my events, I ask you at the door to not talk about what neighborhood you live in or what your job is or anything that normally people will ask you to try to categorize you into whatever, their list of qualifications for whatever. What neighborhood do you live in? What job do you have? What car do you drive? What religion are you? How do you vote? What all that? No, we're not doing any of that at my stuff, because it divides us and it makes you start thinking that you're limited to that label. We are so unlimited, and our love for each other should be so unlimited, and our tolerance and our acceptance for each other should be so unlimited, because where we're at on our journey is such not a good place to take a snapshot and say, this is who I am. No, this is where you're at on your human journey in the current experience that your soul is having. That doesn't get to be tattooed and carved all over your DNA and on your heart for the rest of forever. You don't have to stay stuck in whatever label that is. And so that's how free your soul is. Like a soul, because it's made of light and energy and strings of light and everything like that, you can't trap it into something. Like, it's just so expansive. That's how I want you to see yourself, and that's how I wish we could all see everybody, because we would stop this nonsense of beating each other and, beating the crap out of each other's hearts and trying to be right and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's what your soul is. And you know what I want you to do, if you're still feeling confused about what is a soul and why is this important, is I want you to just make some really quiet time for yourself and just go ask your soul to speak to you. Just ask yourself, what is the voice of my soul? What does it sound like? Who am I when I'm just my soul? When I strip away all of this, the blinged out or spiked up cardboard cutout, the oozing blood and ooze and broken self. And even, when you're like shedding this wise child self of your human self that's learning and growing and becoming and experiencing new things all the time, like if you shed all of those, what would this voice say? And I'm going to give you some examples, because daily I've been writing down what this voice says, and then I pick which voice I'm going to listen to, and that's the worksheet that I want to share with you guys. Okay, but this worksheet, my true soul self, ways I bring this into my life. For me, always through things that I absolutely positively know are real, and typically things that have been here way before I got here and will be here way after I'm gone. That's things like mountains and the sky and clouds and trees and rivers, and that's the way I bring this into my life. Because when you are in nature and you just let yourself go, okay, what's my part in all of this? Where do I fit into everything that's real and everything that's lasting? Babies and children and animals and some humans that aren't all trying to label everything, can make you feel like a soul, okay? I want the learning experience of, so what I believe is our souls are trying to have experiences through our human self to learn and grow and become more than we ever were. And sometimes our experiences, we take our experiences and we label ourselves because of experiences we've been through. We'll say like, I'm an addict, or I'm whatever. So good things or bad things. I'm a entrepreneur, whatever. We label ourselves, and then we feel like failures when that label starts to disintegrate and we're not so great at it anymore. What I would like to see you do is say, I'm a beautiful soul who's having the experience of blank, who's going through the experience of addiction. I'm a beautiful soul who's going through the experience of, like me, being a nomad and having this really, kind of crazy, uncertain life. That because I'm working through some stuff. That's not like, even being a free bird nomad right now. Like I'm living out the experience of being a nomad right now, but that's just an experience that my human self is having, that my soul is guiding me through. And so that's not my label. That's just an experience that I'm having right now, and that's what I would love to see you doing. So I want to have the learning experience of what? So for me right now, I want the learning experience of and this, I can't answer this for you. I'm just going to give you one of my answers. I'm having a learning experience of freeing myself right now. I'm doing the really, really hard work of digging really deep so that I can free myself. I'm proud of my human self, because my human self, it gets up, man. She gets up and she keeps going. And I am proud of her. I'm proud of her for that. I wish my human self could and would believe that so many things, but currently I guess I wish, if I'm talking from my soul, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna like tap in. What would my soul say to my human self right now? I wish you would be easier on yourself. Yeah, I want to share the wisdom I have earned in the area of regeneration, reinvention, restoration, joy, dorkiness. Those are the things that I would like to do. I know that no matter what I am energy. I'm not destroyable. I hate that word is so scientific. It's such a more beautiful thing than that. My soul is everlasting, and it's gonna go on forever. So I know that no matter what. Okay, I don't know which thing to share next. I'm going to show you how I have been using these lessons. So I made these two little books. I love these books. I decided I was going to ask myself 2 questions every day. What do I need today, and what would I love today? And then I would go through and see what each one of my 4 selves has to say about that, okay? So I started, what do I need today? So like this is one of them. Freedom, of course, you guys know me. I need freedom to be my own person. That's the first one. And then I said, today I need to remember who I am. And then another day I wrote, I need to relax and trust the energy of my benevolent vision, not be so freaked out. And then after I did this, and this is my cut and paste version, I cut out these gals, each of them, and I pasted in what they would say. Okay, so I need freedom. So my false cardboard cutout self would say, just make it look like you're free. Free people don't fit in. It's too hard to be free. So she's too scared to be real. She wants to be fake, fake free. This one, my false broken self, this wounded self that where most of your fear generates from and your shame, you don't deserve to be free. You'll never be free. That's what she says. And then my human self, which is my wise child self that's excited about everything, I know it's going to take some work and sacrifice, but I'm going to do whatever it takes to be free. That's what she said. And then my soul self says, you're already free. You just have to behave and believe as if you're free. Okay? And so then I decided I'm going to choose which one I'm going to believe today. And so this is my morning ritual. I'm going to choose this. I'm already free. I just have to behave and believe as if I'm free. And then on this day, today, I remember who I am, and I just started putting things in there. I am a thriver. I am new, different than I've ever been. I'm gritty and resilient. I am a wild soul. I am true. Who I am is magical. I'm one of a kind. I'm letting myself be something new. I'm a radical mover. I'm free to be me. I am a willing pioneer. I'm eccentric. I'm here to grow. I'm a happy and weird creative genius. So make sure you say some nice things about yourself. So then when I said what I need is to remember who I am, I ran it through these filters. And this is such a good way to see where all of your weird, crazy, destructive thoughts are coming from, and just face them in the morning, because it really works. And then decide, like, which one am I going to listen to today, instead of just letting it wreak havoc on your life and, you know, just let it run on autopilot. So my cardboard cutout self says, you'll never be able to be who you need to be. Too much has happened. Just do your best to look successful and happy and confident. That was her advice. And then my broken self, you're a fraud. You're broken. You're pathetic. That's what she said. Well, those are fake. They don't get to talk beyond this. I'm listening to them, but I'm just like, okay, I get it. I get that. Of course, that's what you're going to say. That's the kind of stuff you say. My human self says, I get to keep learning and growing and becoming through my experiences. I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I love the adventure and awe of it all. And then my soul self, my wisest self says, you are beloved always. It's not about what you do. You don't have to do so much. It's all about who you are becoming, and enjoy all of it. There's no need to suffer through it. This is who I am. I get to decide what I'll become next. And so this is the voice I'm going to listen to that day. This really helps you guys. And then today I need to relax and trust the energy of my own vision. So what my cardboard cutout self said is, that vision stuff doesn't really work. Just make it appear that you believe that it does, or that you just don't believe it at all. Just like cancel, say, I don't really believe in that, because I'm too scared to believe that it works. And then my broken self, vision and manifesting would work if you weren't so broken. That's always what this comes back to. You're too broken for that. You're too scared for that. You're too wounded for that. You've made too many mistakes for that. So, okay, guys, you got to say what you say, and now we're going to put you out here. And now my human wise child self says, I love to dream big dreams, think up innovative and lovely solutions, and create beauty wherever I go. This is who I am. Yep, that's who she is. But my soul self says, your vision, your feelings, and your imagination create constantly. Be sure to use them wisely. You can create anything. So you look at these voices, and that just, your soul self just sounds like this super wise, like the grandma on Moana. I mean, just imagine your soul as this wise, beautiful, all-loving, not competitive, no agenda except for you to grow and for you to experience and for you to have joy and for you to let stuff go when you're done with it and not carry it around with you everywhere, okay? So those are the voices of your soul. So I have this cut and paste version, which, you know, takes me an hour or sometimes more in the morning when I get up. So if I get up early enough, I do this. But if I am in a hurry, I have these, and I'm giving you guys these so you can print out a bunch of them. I hope you'll do this until you train yourself to start hearing your your cardboard cutout self, your false broken self, your false cardboard, I'm gonna call these both false because they're both false. False cardboard cutout self, false broken, wounded, ruined self, your beautiful, wise child human self, and your beautiful soul self. If you could do these worksheets every day, you'll start training yourself to hear which voice is talking and then just going, shh, okay, you can have your piece, but I'm choosing the wise voice today. It works, you guys. Okay, so it says, what do I want most today? What do I need most today? So this was earlier this week. What do I want most today? Focus, faith, and confidence. What do I need most today? Clarity. So my cardboard cutout self says, just go back to what used to work. Just, do the thing where you're always just like proving and performing and pretending. That's what we'll do. I'll help you out. We'll just bling this thing right up. Then my false, broken, ruined self says, it's just too late. You're too broken and you're too tired. So these two can fight it out. That's what they usually do, but I'm just gonna go poof, nope, we don't need you. And my beautiful, wise child self, I want to enjoy and trust and follow my heart and my bliss. And then my wise soul self, my actual self, says, you are bliss. Just remember who you are. You got this. You have focus, faith, confidence, and clarity. Just step into it. So that's the one I chose. I circled it because that's the one I chose. So I'm going to give you guys these and that other worksheet, and I'm going to ask you to do those, okay? And next, I'm going to be giving you a whole PDF download of the cut and paste one that you can do, okay? So we're going to start with these worksheets, and then next week I'm going to be giving you a bunch of stuff to cut and paste. We'll get back to the cut and paste stuff, and it's going to be awesome, okay? So I am going to excuse myself for a second because my battery's about to go dead on my camera, and I am going to tell you about a dream I had about what a soul actually is with this, okay? So I'll be right back. I love you. Mwah. Okay, I changed position a little bit. Okay, what I'm about to share with you is a dream that I had, and it was so real. And it's, so I want you to think of it just like a parable. I'm not saying this is like the exact right anything. It's just it's something to consider, and it'll change the way you look at yourself and the way you look at life and the way you look at others. Hopefully, it has for me. But over the last couple of years, as I've been going through a dark night of the soul, a total meltdown, breakdown, burnout. I don't know what it's called. It's been called lots of things, but I don't think there's a one right name for it. But when that was all going on, I had this dream, and the dream was where my creator, what I believe is our creator, my creator showed me the exact moment when I was formed, and what that all meant. And like I said, it was a dream, and so for me, I'm taking it as a lesson to learn from, and that's what I want you to do. Again, like, I'm not ever gonna pose any religious or anything like that. I just want you to take whatever I say, run it through the filter of your heart, see what's true for you, and just see this as a parable, if nothing else. So in this dream, my creator was actually so bright, such bright light that's all I could see was light, but I knew it was a being who knew me and loved me, and it was like I got to see a movie of this happening. And so what happened was my creator said, this is the moment that I created you. And my creator went like this, and like this light, this big ball of energy and light swirled out from who the creator is and partitioned off a bit of it, and that was me, and created me as this soul. And And then my creator told me what all of that meant. And so, so my creator said, you and everyone, including my creator, is made up of, okay, so what my creator said is, all this light and all these particles are like little triangles that create a whole everything, like triangles within triangles of light, like facets. And every facet is something that my creator has created over, I don't know, millions, infinite years. And that's what all this light is. It's just like little facets of everything that's ever been created. Every soul, every plant, every mountain, every star, every whatever. And that's what is in the creator. And so when my creator created me, that's what my creator created me out of, is all of that. And so what my creator told me during this dream is that means that I am made of everything my creator has ever created, just like my creator is. That means I have pieces of you in me because you have pieces of me in you, because we all got created from that. Remember, if this is freaking you out or feels weird, just think of it as a parable. That all of us are created from everything that ever got created. It's like an ocean, okay? So like you take a cup of the ocean and you can't like parse out like what part of the ocean you got. It's all part of it. And so then my creator said that all of these triangles were a really important part of this dream, all these facets. My creator said every soul and everything has facets that include every possibility of, mostly of potential. And at the time, I was really struggling with some issues with people, with forgiveness, with fear, with dealing with people's brokenness and cruelty and my own brokenness too. So my creator said, this is the part where all of our souls are connected and the responsibility we have to each other. My creator said, every time you think a thought about another soul, you activate that part of their facets inside of you, which activates it inside of them and inside of everybody else that's perceiving them or whatever. I hope this is making sense. It was so clear in my dream. So that means when I hold anger or I think of somebody as a bad person, I am participating in how I perceive them, in making that how they behave. And so if I'm thinking bad thoughts about somebody, I activate that part of them inside of me because I'm made of everything they're made of. And so my creator taught me to, and that's why I bought this ball. In fact, I have a lot of things like this because I want to remember this always. So imagine this is you and you have all of these facets. And when I think of you, if I think of you of this little facet that's weak and scared and sometimes behaves in a really mean way, and that's how I label you and I see you, I'm actually activating that part of you when I have an association with you. Same with me. I'm always activating all of my possibilities and all of my parts. And so when I'm feeling weak and vulnerable or judgmental or just not positive ways, when I'm thinking those thoughts and I'm feeling those feelings, and feelings are such an important, but they're just as important as thoughts, the feelings that we have toward things, and including ourselves and toward each other and the world. When I'm putting all of that energy into thinking that about somebody else or about myself, I'm actually activating that. I'm actually activating that facet because I got shown all sorts of other things, just that there's these light grids in between each of the things that connect us, and all of that travels through. And anyway, it was just a dream, but it's very real to me. And so I want you to just be open to the possibility that your soul has all of these facets, and that every thought that you think, every action that you take, everything that you do is kind of like an experiment where you're activating that part of yourself, because we all have the possibility to be very dark people or very light people. We all have the ability, we all have light and darkness in us. So we all have the ability we could all be murderers if we chose. We have to accept that we have parts of us that are maybe not what we want to be, but we have to be careful not to activate those parts and to activate those inside of each other too. So one of my disciplines I try to do when I'm thinking of people, especially people that I'm struggling with, is I think the highest thoughts of them, and I think of their goodness, because maybe even if I don't have evidence of their goodness, I know that it exists. And so I try to be, and I'm telling you, this is hard, because some people, when I'm not in a good place, I just want to like punch them in the throat or whatever, and just, but then I remember, like, I'm activating that in myself and I'm activating that in them. And so I think I'm going to think of them as a child, and I'm going to think of their loving, good potential and their possibilities. And I'm going to activate that in me, that part of them that's in me, that we all got created from the same parts. Anyway, this is how I envision each of us as souls and each of us connected. Like we're just a bunch of facets and a bunch of possibilities, and it's beautiful. And we have so much responsibility for what we activate in ourselves and what we activate in each other. And so it's just a good thing to practice. Okay, so that's that. And I hope that you do this lesson. I hope you do all the lessons. And if you have more to say about this, because I know I told one of my quantum physics buddies, professors, about this, and he was like, you have no idea how much you're speaking physics when you say those things. And so I think sometimes we get dreams and we get told things this is just a piece of a puzzle. I mean, I'm such a little kindergartner in terms of how things work, but this helps me a lot to know that I have a responsibility how I view and think about myself, and how I view and think about people and animals and plants and anything that's alive. I'm participating in what gets activated in them, and so are you. All of us are. All right, so do your worksheets, have fun. I love you. Next week we'll start cutting and pasting about the 4 selves. I love you. Mwah.